Cricket has seen many fast bowlers, but only very few who made batsmen fear for their lives. Jeff Thomson wasn't just quick. He was chaos, violence, and pure thunderbolt pace. Forget the numbers. His legacy was written in bruises, broken bones, and sheer terror. This is the story of cricket's wildest fast bowler. Ian Chappell once told a story that summed up just how much Thomson rattled opponents. West Indian great Lance Gibbs, himself a fierce competitor, once said to Chappell, "I can sort out Lily. He has a wife and kids like me. But you're responsible for that madman Thomson. You must convince him not to kill me." Chappell, not the captain at the time, shrugged. "I'm not captain." But Gibbs, with his trademark cackle, snapped back, "I don't care. I'm holding you responsible." That was the aura Jeff Thomson carried. He was chaos on two legs, the kind of bowler whose very presence forced batsmen into a state of nervous tension before a ball was even bowled. If you look to the raw figures, 200 test wickets at an average of 28, an ODI average of 35.3, you might not immediately place Thomson alongside the giants of the game. But averages don't capture terror. They don't show the batsman's trembling hands tightening around the handle. They don't tell of the scrambled footwork, the survival instincts, or the bruises. When you think of Thomson, you don't think numbers. You think of that bizarre slingshot action, the arm whipping back behind his body before unleashing a blur, and the ball thundering through as if fired from a cannon. He bowled not just deliveries, he bowled thunderbolts. Jeffrey Robert Thomson's story is as wild as his action. Born in Sydney, he was a natural athlete, but one who never believed in orthodox methods. In 1972, after just 5 first-class games for New South Wales, selectors hurled him into Test cricket against Pakistan. He was just 22. Australia won the match comfortably, but Thomson's own debut was a disaster. 17 overs in the first innings went for 100 runs without a wicket. 2 more overs in the second, still wicketless. The selectors weren't impressed. What they didn't know was that Thomson had played the entire match with a broken bone in his foot, hiding it from everyone. He was dropped, and for nearly 2 years, forgotten. When he returned in the final Sheffield Shield game of the 1973-74 season, cricket got its first taste of the storm. Greg Chappell, captain of Queensland, remembers facing him at the SCG. "We were on top of the table, just a step away from winning the Shield. I won the toss, batted, and then this whirlwind appeared from the Randwick end. He was raw, wild, spraying it around, but frightening. He took 7 wickets and ripped us apart. After the game, I fought through the crowd to meet him. He told me he was quitting cricket altogether. I said, 'Would you come to Queensland instead?' He just shrugged. 'Anywhere.'" Queensland officials didn't hesitate. They pulled every string they could, and soon Jeff Thomson was theirs. The stories from those early years spread like bushfire. Ian Chappell recalled, "I thought I'd hook him if he bowled short, but when the bouncer came, it smashed my gloves. It wasn't short. It was lightning. Thommo was the only bowler I ever considered unhookable." Ross Edwards, another teammate, said, "Facing him, you didn't even hear his run-up. Suddenly the ball was in the keeper's gloves, faster than you could lift your bat. It was surreal, like something out of another world." Thomson wasn't like other bowlers who obsessed over training drills. Greg Chappell joked, "His fitness was pig shooting, fishing, and bowling in matches. Running around ovals? Not for him, but he could bowl all day long. That was his engine." And yet, for all his raw talent, Thomson had little idea about the technical side of the game. He bowled fast, and that was his mantra. Once, after a string of no balls, Chappell asked him what was wrong. Thomson replied, "Mate, I've got no rhythm. I can't even remember if I'm supposed to have 14 or 16 steps in my run-up. That was Thommo in a nutshell. All instinct, no science. But when he got it right, unplayable. When England arrived in 1974, they were confident. They had drawn in the Caribbean, thrashed India, and matched Pakistan. Australia, meanwhile, seemed to be relying on Dennis Lillee, who was returning from a career-threatening back injury. But then came Thomson. Before the first test in Brisbane, he sent shivers down spines with a TV interview. "I enjoy hitting a batsman more than getting him out. I like to see blood on the pitch." It might have been bravado, but it worked. Thomson ripped through England, taking 9 wickets in Brisbane. By mid-series, he had 33 wickets at under 18 apiece. England were battered, bodies bruised, techniques broken. One headline in Sydney captured the mood. "Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If Thomson don't get you, Lillee must." Even outside tests, Thomson left scars. At the 1975 World Cup, Sri Lanka, not yet a test nation, were chasing 329 against Australia. At 150 for 2, they were doing admirably well. But when Thomson returned for a second spell, everything changed. Both Duleep Mendis and Sunil Wethamuni were stretchered to hospital after being struck. When Wethamuni arrived at the hospital, he was asked who had injured him. "Thomson," he said. A nearby policeman, unaware it had happened on a cricket field, asked, "Would you like to press charges?" At his peak, Thomson was unstoppable. But fate intervened. In 1976, he collided with teammate Alan Turner while chasing a catch. His collarbone was dislocated. He would never again be quite the same bowler. He still had moments of brilliance, like 23 wickets in the 1977 Ashes and a blistering spell to Viv Richards in Barbados. But the aura had dulled, the pace less consistent. Injuries and contractual wrangles with Kerry Packer's World Series cricket further complicated his career. How fast was Jeff Thomson really? In 1975, researchers measured him at 160.4 kilometers per hour. Even today, only a handful of bowlers have officially bowled faster. But those who faced him, and those who kept to him, believe he was quicker. Rod Marsh, Australia's legendary wicketkeeper, said, "At times it was impossible. I thought, no one can be faster than this. He could make a length ball rise past a batsman's chin. It wasn't just speed, it was vicious bounce. Keeping to him was a nightmare." Jeff Thomson's career ended in 1985 with exactly 200 test wickets. The numbers say pretty good. The stories say legend. Because Thomson wasn't just a bowler. He was a phenomenon. He was theater. He was box office. He was the fear batsmen whispered about in dressing rooms, the wild man with the slingshot arm. And perhaps his partner in destruction, Dennis Lillee, put it best. He was a man to put the fear of God into batsmen in any era, through pure and simple pace. Nothing to do with guile, just raw speed. Jeff Thomson turned 75 on August 16th. Cricket may have evolved. Batsmen now wear helmets and heavy armor. But in his era, facing him was something else entirely. Not a contest of bat and ball. A contest of survival. That's the story of Jeff Thomson, the madman, the thunderbolt, the bowler who redefined fear in cricket.